Welcome to Every Day's a Gift, sponsored by HPH Hospice. I'm Wendy Hall.
And I'm Jason Rowan.
And joining us, we have, I don't know if you can see this beautiful award here. We have a very, very special lady who's joining us, a volunteer with HPH Hospice, who just received a national award. And we are fortunate to have her visiting us. This is Paula Haydon. And thanks a lot for coming over and being on our show.
Thank you for inviting me. It's very exciting to be here.
And you know, I was at the conference a couple of days before you got there with our volunteer coordinator, Katie Geschke, for the whole agency. And when I turned open our program booklet, I saw your name and all your information right in there. And I know we were real excited to have somebody win an award, especially one of our volunteers at the National Hospice and Palliative Care Conference for all hospice throughout the country. And of course, we were lucky enough to have you win that award.
Yes, it was very exciting for me, and it was very rewarding. There are so many hospices spread through the entire United States, so to be able to get out to Orlando and find out what they do when they get together and what kind of classes they were teaching was very, very interesting.
We have over 4,000 hospices in the United States, and all of those have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of volunteers. And so, I mean, it really is unique that HPH Hospice was able to send in the application for Paula. And when did you find out that you'd won? Obviously, you had to know before you got there.
Yes, I found out about a month before the actual ceremony and the convention. My initial reaction was to read the announcement that I got by email from the national headquarters 3 times because I just wasn't comprehending
You thought that was junk mail coming in, didn't you?
I didn't know what it was. So I read it and I read it and I read it, and then I called my husband over. I said, read this. And he did, and then I immediately forwarded it to Katie Geschke and my volunteer coordinator for our area in Hernando County, which was Mary Kay Sandell.
So some of the things that they talked about in the award application, the things that you've done and the experiences, how long have you been a volunteer with hospice?
I've been a volunteer for 10.5 years. And I've loved every minute of it. I've been able to do so many different things because hospice offers their volunteers so many opportunities. If you don't like one thing, you can go and try something else. And I've tried most of them. I love them all.
You know, what amazed me was, again, I read it in the program booklet, is I think it said you've actually volunteered with us over 6,000 hours.
Yes, and we're probably quite a bit over that by now.
Oh,
but,
yes.
Whenever I get to hospice, I feel like I'm coming home.
That is beautiful. Do you remember what led you to volunteering at hospice to begin with?
Yes, I do. I was very fortunate in that I retired at the age of 50 and just started traveling and playing golf and playing tennis and having a great time. And I did that for about 18 months, after which I thought, you know, there's something missing in my life. So I started volunteering with another agency, not a hospice agency, something else. And I enjoyed it very much, and I felt like I was accomplishing something again, which always gives you a good feeling. After a while, someone mentioned hospice, and it was like a light went on in my head. I thought, wow, that is what I have got to do. I've got to go work for hospice. Went through the training program and started in Hudson, cooking at the hospice house and visiting the patients. About a year later, we opened a hospice house in Hernando County, so I moved up to Hernando County.
That was closer to where you lived?
Yes, I live in Spring Hill, so it was only 10 minutes from the house. And it made it very convenient, and been doing that and visiting patients and doing home visits and nursing home visits and all sorts of things ever since.
I know you do so many different things in your volunteer work, but I'm interested in cooking at the hospice house. Maybe some of our viewers at home don't realize we do things different than a dietary section of a hospital or something, don't we?
We certainly do. If someone gets up in the morning and wants a hot fudge sundae, and as long as there's no dietary restrictions, they get a hot fudge sundae with whipped cream and a cherry on top for breakfast. We try and keep them as happy as we can with comfort foods.
Yes.
And if the family wants a bite to eat, if someone's come in and visiting for a while, we'd be glad to give them something to eat. Once in a while, we have family coming in that are from other states, and we have a place where we can have a roll-out sofa for them or make them as comfortable in any way as we can.
You know, that's something that we've had other hospices who've looked at our facilities comment on, Paula, is especially when they go to our care centers and see these huge kitchens that just the kitchens themselves are probably over 1,000 square feet, and there's area for families to sit, and they always say this is amazing. They've never seen anything like that, and there's always cookies and cakes and anything you could think of for patients as well as their families to snack on, and that's a great point, because we know that's what Wendy and I always hear from other hospices who tour our facilities. They say, this is an amazing thing you have here.
We have a buffet 3 times a day so that the families can get something to eat and they don't have to leave the person they love to go down and find a McDonald's someplace. Also, our cookies are famous, I think.
Yes.
The volunteers always enjoy making cookies. They've all got their own recipes and different designs. They're out there trying to please everyone.
I think it's beautiful, and a lot of times when you're not feeling the greatest, you really want sweets. And you mentioned hot fudge sundae right off the bat. I mean, sometimes that goes down good. I don't know if that's just in our mind or not, but and some of the other things that you've done, what's been most meaningful to you? What type role have you enjoyed the most?
I used to visit nursing homes, and I enjoyed that very much. Sometimes those people don't get enough people coming in to spend time with them, enough guests, and so I always enjoyed talking with the patients. The other thing that I enjoy very much is our CAP camp, and that happens every year. We have one camp that's for ages about 10 to 15, and another one that runs about 7 to 10-year-olds. The younger group goes for 1 day and the older group goes for 3 days. It's very rewarding to help a child who needs a little bit of guidance during a bereavement process.
And we're going to come back.
Absolutely. Everybody stay tuned for one second, and we're going to be back with our wonderful National Award-winning volunteer. And this is very special. They usually only give out 1 a year to volunteers. And we're
This
lucky.
is like a Heisman Trophy.
It is. But we'll be right back with Paula, and we'll keep talking about her wonderful experiences helping us out and volunteering with HPH Hospice, so stay tuned.